Lincolnwood and Parts Unknown. This is Rich again with another summer virtual program. I love science experiments. It's one of my things. And the science experiment we're doing today, you're going to love this. It involves cookies. I know, I love cookies. It is called Oreo racing. Yes, we're going to race different sizes of Oreos and see which one comes first. Now this relies on a concept called gravity. Now without gravity, we'd be floating on the ceiling and bumping our heads, and we don't want that. But gravity is a force that is responsible for us sitting down, standing up, rolling on the ground, all that stuff. And it acts equally on everything. I'll show you. I have a long piece of chalk and a stub. Which one is going to fall down first? Which one is going to hit the ground first? Let's find out. Try that again. Yeah. Hits at the same time. That's what we're looking for. Now, when we do our Oreo racing, I'm guessing the same thing's going to happen. Now, what do you need to test this? Well, for one thing, you need an Oreo racetrack. So, what you're going to need are the following. You're going to need some cardboard, which I'm going to take some boxes, and I'm going to cut them up. So you also need a pair of scissors, where I have them somewhere. I don't know where they are. Glue gun, which I have heating up in the back there. You'll want a ruler and a pencil. So, oh, that's right. The most important thing, Oreos. We need all right, who ate all the Oreos? Bet you it was you. Anyway, let's start. Okay, I think I'm done. This is what I made. This is my track. So what I did was I took a box, cut it up, and then cut some strips. And as you can tell, I used a hot glue gun to attach them. Now, you'll also notice those little marks there. I used a ruler to make the tracks, each track exactly 1 inch apart so that these are totally even. Now, of course, if you're using a hot glue gun, you want a grown-up to help you out with it. So, and then, to make the starting gate, I made this, did the same thing. As you could tell, I cut them 1 inch apart so they'll fit exactly. Let me get that in a little bit. There we go. So that part is done. Now, I needed something slanted because round things will not roll if they're just flat on the table. So you can use a box to tilt it. I decided to use some binders. And I have a plate as my little catch basin so that the Oreos won't roll away. So this is ready to go. All right, so we'll put the mini one right there. Put the regular Oreo in the middle. We'll put the double stuff at the end. All right, ready to go? All right, on your mark, get set, go. No, it didn't work. I wonder why. Let's try it again. Let's set this up. And put them in again in order. Let's move it down a little bit. There we go. All right. Mark, get set, go. It didn't work. Gravity is supposed to act on them equally. So why was there a winner in the Oreo race? Why weren't they tied for first? Well, there is something that might be stopping them. Let's find out. So, why did this work? Seems perfectly useful. Why didn't the Oreos tie for first? After all, gravity works on everything equally. We saw that with the chalk. Well, we might be working against another force. It's called friction. Now, friction is kind of like a force that slows down things that move. Like if you roll, like say you roll a baseball down the sidewalk or down a parking lot, you'll notice that it eventually stops. That's friction. It puts up resistance to a moving object, and the more friction there is, the more the ball will slow down until it finally stops. So I have to ask myself, where's the friction coming from that might be slowing some Oreos and not others? Well, as you can tell, the box here has all these bumps on that. That's friction. So that might be slowing it down. So I made a new one. Now the difference between this one and this one is you notice that the bumps are in this direction, so there's a lot of resistance for the Oreos to roll down. I fixed that by turning this around so that they're not going to be running into the bumps this time. So let's try this out. All right, let's try this again. Double stuff, regular Oreo, and our mini Oreo. Let's get our little plate here. All right, let's see what happens now. 1, 2, 3, go! Huh. It's still not working right. Let's try it again. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go! Now another Oreo finished in first. Wonder what's going on. Well, the question is, where is there friction that might be causing the Oreos not to roll down and land at the same time? So let's look where we could find friction. Let's see. Well, looks like parts of this, some of the tracks aren't totally even. This one kind of curves a little bit, and so that could be part of the problem. Another part of the problem, because that will add friction, it'll add resistance. Now let's take a look at the cookies themselves. Notice how one's leaning this way and another one's leaning that way. That means there might be more friction on one than the other. And as a result, they don't go at the same time. Or in this case, they don't go at all. Now, another possibility is this one right here, the mini. You notice it's covered. It's actually a fudge covered one, but you'll also notice it's not completely round. Now, if you try to roll something that's not completely round, it's going to slow down. There's going to be more friction because of that little bump there is going to make it roll slower. So that's also a possibility. So, and finally, there's a little bit of glue that's sticking out. That could also add friction to the cookie, and that might be slowing it down. There's so many ways that friction is playing around and not allowing this race to be completed in the way it's supposed to. Well, let's see. What have I learned? What I learned is that failure is an option. I didn't get these to work right, but the question is, how can I make it work better? Well, maybe I shouldn't use a box. Maybe it just adds too much friction. Or maybe the lanes themselves are adding a lot of friction. Notice that the Oreos kind of leaned against them at the start, and that added a lot of friction. once I let them all go. So that's a possibility. There's ways you can adjust that, and so maybe next time I'll use, instead of a box, I'll use something a lot smoother, to use something different, like say drinking straws. That might work a lot better because they're all uniformly smooth. So you reduce the friction there, you reduce that resistance. But you know what? I might try some more at another time. But remember, it won't work until it does. Just keep at it. And like I said, I'll keep at it. And I recommend that you keep at it. If this doesn't work for you, try something else, because what was supposed to happen was that Oreos were supposed to land at the same time, and they didn't. So, I must have done something wrong, and I will need to correct it. But I want you to correct it as well. So, I want you to record your own attempts at making this Oreo race work for you and send it to youthservices@lincolnwoodlibrary.org. And I will see you again soon. And next time, I'm going to make it a success.